Says I'm live. G'day, Kovu, G-Kai. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry that you had some bit of trouble medically there, mate. It's no good. I've got Daz lurking in the background. He might jump on with me in a minute. Yeah, so I've got to do some painting. So I thought I might as well jump on the old stream and do some painting on the old stream, eh? I've already painted most of the actual models to the point where they're pretty much bad already. I just want to do like some highlights on my Cryptex thingy. We also got the chat. We've got Daz in the chat. I think we had Funkin' Hungry in the chat. Funkin', if you want to join us, I think Daz has posted the link somewhere. But yeah, just going to hang out and do some painting and that sort of thing. No, Daz is doing his own reviews, Funkin' Hungry. So yeah, I'm no longer doing those reviews really at the moment. I might do the Biscoff Storm. Hey, Jonesy, welcome, mate. Thanks for having me on your channel the other day. It was nice hanging out with you and your American pals. It was really good. Leave it on the screen, Daz. On the screen. So yeah, we can chat some 40k stuff. We can chat some other stuff. We can do whatever. I just sort of put the title talking about GW points changes because it's like I don't know, I wouldn't say a clickbait title, but it's a personal one for you. Hey, is it link in the description to PayPal? Put $10 there. I'll do it for you, Funkin'. There you go. $10 for a review. Biscoff GFC, and that's all I say about that. Does that say something rude there, Kovo? It's going to paint the base with a bit of copper. Nothing too exciting. No, just for my time, Funkin'. Just for my time. you got to pay for the items, and they'll get the old tax return on it, and then yeah, time is money, mate. Time is money. That's a friend's discount. I'd normally charge $20 for a review. It's actually really weird trying to paint like this. Oh, there you go. Put on the tax return, Daz. Just slopping some paint on. Nothing too specific here. Thanks for keeping it PG, Kovo. Not about really. I don't keep the channel PG. So yeah, points changes. I'm not too surprised by some of them. I think that kind of could have gone a bit more broad with the points changes, but you know, I think in some ways it's good that they're keeping it fairly tame and not doing too many at once, because you could definitely go the wrong way and make some stuff too powerful, and then yeah. So I think they've done a pretty good job, especially with GW. I mean, they should have done a better job at the beginning with, especially having their launch Leviathan cards basically be useless. So you've got useless rulebook and useless cards that you can't actually really use. That might be Funkin', I don't know. So yeah, that's a bit sucky. Wouldn't surprise me if Daz got the starter box. He does that. He does like to buy stuff and then usually forgets about it half a month later. I can see your face, Daz, in the lobby. It's funny. Yeah, I haven't actually seen Daz's review yet. I haven't had time. I was at work and lots of meetings and stuff like that today, and then getting ready for the stream and making dinner and stuff. I haven't really had much of a chance. Oh, piss off, Windows. Yeah, put it on the screen, Daz. Put it on the screen. One good thing about the points change is like they obviously fixed stuff which had to be really fixed, but it sort of has interrupted my prep for the GT coming up. I'm actually really keen to try one myself, Funkin. I might do the Storm myself, Daz, if you want me to do that for your channel. Because I'm pretty keen to give the old Storm a try. I might do that over the weekend if I get a chance. Cool. I'm actually going out for a yeah, I'll do the Storm, yeah. Going out for a family drive on Sunday, and then, so I've got Sunday off this week, so I'm working through till Saturday this week. And I've got Sunday off, then I'm back at work Monday. So I might try to do it maybe after work on the Friday or Saturday. This definitely won't be a long stream, and I've got to start at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning, so I'll probably just go for about an hour and a half. Got a baker off on holidays, and I'm just jumping in onto the ovens to help out and hopefully get an early day out of it. I would do the review tomorrow, but I don't have a car on me, so I won't be able to drive to Hungry Jack's. Now, I don't feel like paying for delivery fees. If you haven't checked out his channel, Kovu, go check out G's channel. Yes, it's sort of turned into the painting / streaming room at the moment, Benj. There you go. I don't know. It's not showing up very well on the camera, the painting. I don't know if I need better lights or I might have to get the old LED lights out, the ones I use for recording battle reports. Because it is very dark. I don't know if I can change any settings or not. No, I don't think there's anything I can really change. Don't have any of that on that. I think the focus is all right, Daz. It's just the lighting in here. So I think because I've got a light coming from this way, so yeah, so that's better. But yeah, it's a bit dark. Oh, Jonesy, I'm not actually a baker myself. I'm the bakery manager at Woolies. So I normally just do ordering and that sort of stuff and make sure the product looks all right and we make enough product. I very rarely jump on the old ovens. I'm not very good at making bread and that sort of stuff. I'm just okay putting it through the just getting it through the ovens and baked off for the morning. So I'm doing Doctopus as well. Hang on, if you do it. That's it. Oh, hang on. Oh, where are we? Oh, hang on. So, oh, wait, where are we? I've seen this professionals do this. Oh. Oh, there we go. He's called a Gloctopus because he's got like 6 arms and like little pistols. Yeah, I should do a bread review at 3 a.m. I'd love to do like something like that at work, like do shorts and that sort of thing, but a very big no before food safety, that sort of stuff. Got the old makeup brush. Do you use these at all, G? The makeup brushes? Oh, actually, funny enough, Jones, we didn't have any donuts for like 2 months because the machine was buggered. So what I do with this guy, I'm just I spray black, brush over silver, then put some black wash on there just to get some definition. And I go over like a shinier silver just to give them like a bit of a chrome look. Not that you can really see, but you know. Painting ASMR. Do you use an airbrush at all as well, Funkin? Are you Funkin or G to that? You're Funkin, okay. I mean, you're the same person, but I'm not too sure what they call you on stream. I can see Daz has got a head on in the background there. When he's got his head on, he means he's in business. Yeah, so just very basic. It looks really cool. Like I could probably just spray it silver, but I don't think spraying it silver gets the same effect. Yeah. So I literally went through, I don't know if you can see them all. I better post that pot up. There's probably about 10 miniatures on here. Actually, there's 11. So all that I painted pretty much yesterday afternoon. Yeah, just not double. Oh, you're a funny man, Funkin. There he is. There's the G Master. Make sure you watch on 2 different devices so give me more watch time, G. What am I doing next? Where are we? But if I do that, hang on. I've got my favourite colour now. Scrag Brown. Mrs. Rolfus laughed her ass off when she said I was getting the bottle of Scrag Brown. No airbrush, but yeah. I tell you what, if Daz saw me making hot cross buns, and he was pretty surprised by how fast we have to get them through. Pretty much, you mix the mixture, then you mold them, then you put them in the prover, and when you're doing like 2,000 like packets, you're just constantly making them, proving them in the oven, or crossing them then in the oven, and out of the oven, make them. Like it's just a constant cycle. Now, Scrag Brown is actually a layer paint, so it's really bad for basing. But when I first used it, I didn't notice it was a layer paint, so... Oh, thanks, Daz. No one needs to see my face anyway. For basing, I basically use it's like a packet of 10 for like $2 paintbrush for my bases. It's like literally the cheapest brush you can buy because you don't need any real detail or anything. Just slap the old Scrag Brown on there. Mornfang, oh yeah. So I sort of use texture paints. I don't know. Texture paints are pretty good, but I started these Necrons years ago, and I was sort of, wouldn't say new to the hobby, but just sort of getting back into the hobby, and I sort of learned a lot of lessons since then. But just to make everything consistent, I just use the old Scrag Brown still. As long as you do 2 pretty liberal coats, it's pretty good coverage. I see how Daz is playing with the banners for me. Yeah, definitely not a stream to come and learn how to paint, that's for sure. Just slap and paint on. I was actually thinking about doing some early morning live streams like Jonesy does, just to connect with the American audience, because a lot of people who watch my videos are American. That's it, Daz. Never actually. Oh, I suppose I did a live stream painting video like years ago, but it was pretty basic stuff. It's actually quite difficult to sort of concentrate on what you're doing and making sure I'm connecting with you guys as well at the same time. So it's not too bad coverage like that. Will it be all right after another layer of paint? And then I'll go over it with a bit of a wash, and then I'll give it a bit of a rim job with some, I think it's dried bark. That's what it's called. Oh. Give me the thumbs up if you're willing to want to join in there, G. Or Dad. Oh, there you go. Oh, okay, he's been thrown in the deep end. Daz has already chucked him on.
I was just about to type that I'll go get a drink first, but the man behind the mirror, well, I think they call him Wizard of Oz. He's
Wizard
the man behind the sorry, the Wizard of Tasmania, we'll call him.
Yeah, something like that. And
I'll just go get a Rosie Lee and I'll be back.
No worries, mate. It's kind of weird watching stuff happen in the background. I'm not actually touching it. That sounded a bit wrong, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm sure it is, Daz. Playing God with the old account there. When are you going to jump on, Daz? I've been trying to get some more battle reports filmed, but I'm just having no luck getting a hold of anyone at the moment. Everyone's too busy building and painting for the tournament coming up, or just busy with life and that sort of thing. I'd like to do some more combat patrol stuff. That was fun. It was just a lot more casual, and you didn't have to worry about balancing it yourself. It was already pre-balanced. It seemed pretty balanced. It's a process. Might need a bit of water on my brush just to loosen up a bit.
Hello, Rolfus.
Oh, Jesus. There he is. G'day.
Snuck up on you.
You certainly did.
If we're going to have a G, we might as well have a Z as well, eh?
And a D.
And a D.
Get the D in there.
So I haven't heard a lot of talk about this point changes yet.
Oh, I
heard more about Lotus Biscoff than anything.
Yeah. It's kind of weird having like the two sort of different audiences and stuff in the one, and yeah.
Well, when G comes on, I'm sure he'll start talking all things wonderful about 40K. So maybe. Who we got in the chat? We got Jonesy. Hello, Kovu. If you're still around, mate. Hey, Robbo. Hello, Tazdaz.
Oh, g'day, Robbo.
And G's back, I think. He's muted at the moment.
Oh, G banger.
Just boiling the old tin pot.
Might have to change the name of the stream to 40K Derailed.
I think any stream gets a little bit derailed if G or me or myself turn up.
Yeah, true.
So have you seen the new starter boxes? There's going to be like 3 of them, I think.
Yeah, well, it's just like had
they've
done
the same.
Had like same sort of thing in the main box, just a bit less of it.
That's why, like, when a lot of people was freaking out about not
God, he's
getting
gone.
Leviathan.
Oh,
What's going on
cutting
here?
off my mic and stuff, aren't you?
I'm not
Saying
touching anything. No, I swear
yeah.
I'm not touching anything.
just himself.
Hands.
Oh,
Yeah, well, just myself.
you didn't touch my name either, did you? That just changed by
I
itself.
had nothing. I know nothing. I know nothing about orc sucking.
Actually, doing all right at the moment. I
Yeah.
think,
Why would they suck? Do they even have those sort of feelings?
I have no idea. There you go. I'll change it
Yeah,
back for you.
I thought I'd look all sporty for you. Green Street hooligans and all that. We like
I love
Halloween
it.
around here.
Red Ghostbuster, apparently.
Did you say I'm a Ghostbuster?
No, Red Ghostbuster.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Not these days with my beat up leg.
So anyway, like these starter boxes, like I watched a bit of a YouTube video on them the other day, and apparently, like the biggest box actually has, like, I think it was the combat patrol for Tyranids and Space Marines in it or something.
I think it almost has. Like, there's one or two models maybe missing out of it.
Oh, okay.
Or that might be. Put it on the screen, Daz. There you go.
All right, I'll go and have a look for it and see if I can find it.
Because I'm just painting bases here, really. I'm just I was painting anyway, so it's made an excuse to do a live stream.
They might have them in Warhammer Community, but you might need to scroll down.
Yeah.
I think they like normally in Warhammer Community they have articles, but it might have been like close to a week ago. They don't bring them out every day. But yeah, everyone was freaking out about Leviathan. And, like the people that wasn't able to get it or it was too expensive, I'd said, you wait till the starters because they're more reasonable priced.
Yeah.
And if you just want, the Terminators, you can just get them. And then they start obviously adding more and more to them. But also the starters get the dice, the rulers, and some of them get terrain. So it's kind of more beginner friendly where you'd think they'd put that stuff in the big starter boxes, but obviously to save money, it's more plastic crap. Then
just more for
really ready to play. Yeah, it's more
not
suited
having
really
much
for
luck.
especially if two people want to get both like an army each. You can go halves in them are quite good. I'll see if I can find it and I'll send it to you.
You can quite easily just
tell
pick up second hand anyway.
So
well, I
you go, G.
like the Terminators are pretty awesome, but obviously I'm mainly an orc person, so I didn't care too much if I didn't get a box. I mean, I went onto Gap Games and I could have got them because they had them in stock at the time, and then they got the second allocation. So but it's like I haven't even bloody done all of Indomitus yet because obviously I'm more orc focused. So I just thought there's no point getting more. That would just sit there doing nothing really. All right, I think this is it. I'll send it to you on Discord.
Okay,
I was going to build a Space Marine with the Indomitus box and the Leviathan box, but then it was just too much investment of time and money to even think about starting the Marine Army up like that.
Yeah.
Well, I've done most of the Marine. This is going to be great to be able to see it, but yeah, you'll just be able to see a black silhouette. I have painted it somewhat, but it looks like just a black, figure at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am actually preparing a combat patrol myself for the orcs, and I'll be having a game hopefully in a few weeks.
Oh, sweet!
So I've got a lot of stuff I painted, but then because I jump from stuff to stuff, and then I'm obviously trying to make content. But I do have 10 boys.
All right, there we go.
And then you get the Orc War Boss in Mega Armor, and I'm building at the moment, or today I've got out my Death Copters, and also I need to get a Dread ready, and then that's my army, and I'm going to be first in the Combat Patrol the new 10th edition Space Marines. So he's obviously got the Terminators, the Captain and Terminator armor, the Liberian, and whatever those flamer dudes are called.
Yeah. Well, that's why I've got these guys on the painting table, because you need 5 Flayers and 5 Reapers in the combat patrol for whatever reason. They make them all the same, so I thought I'd just build up some Flayers. Oh, you go. All right, you got it, Daz?
Yeah, so this is the introductory set. So it says here you get... Yeah, you get some paints with that one.
Yeah, that's good. That's pretty killer.
Yeah, some dice and a ruler. So you get 5 Infernus Marines, 10 Termagants, and a Ripper Swarm. All pushed to fit. You get a Abaddon Black, Wraithbone, Balthazar Gold, Nagaroth Knight, and Macragge Blue.
Oh, yep, cool.
48-page introductory handbook, hobby guide, background information, intro to the game, tutorials, training scenarios. You can play out your first battles against friends or family on paper playing mat with the cardboard walls and tokens, plus a range ruler and 6 dice. So it's got everything there that you just need to just get a first very small little game to get up and running.
Yeah. Does it have I don't think it has a price yet, does it?
I don't think so. No, I haven't seen anything about. They're only been fairly new announced, so that looks like it'd be a pretty good way for you to start off, and you got enough paints there to get yourself into it to see if you like painting it or not, and it looks like a good little set, that one. So then we've got the starter set. So it looks like we've got a lot more models in this one. So this one...
You don't get the full combat patrol, maybe.
Yeah, it's the last one you get the full combat patrol, but they still don't have the same as what came in Leviathan, I don't think.
No, that's the...
So the starter set, perfect for people who know what tabletop games are and are ready to supply their own hobby paints and tools, so there's no paints or anything with it.
Yep.
But who might not have played a game like Warhammer 40k. So I guess if you've played like a World War II one or something like that, you've got your models and that get set up to go. You got your starter handbook, two rule reference sheets, 10 dice, 2 rulers, cardboard gaming mat, and 38 miniatures. So you get a Captain in Terminator armor with 5 Terminators and 5 Infernus Marines. And then the Tyranids get a Winged Tyranid Prime, 3 Von Ryan's Leapers, a Psychophage.
So cool.
A Psychophage, 20 Termagants, and 2 Ripper Swarms.
Did you hear me all right? Just quickly?
Yep.
Yeah, because I put on the headset.
Loud.
No, that's all right. I just put on the headset, so I was making sure that it put it on. So it looks like you don't get the Dreadnought for Marines, and you don't get that big. I don't know. I'm just thinking of Stranger Things, the Mind Flayer. It's like a big psychic thing with brains for the Tyranids, which I really like that. I really
that's
like
where
that it's like a psychic eater. That's the one that's like that big crab spider looking thing, like has tentacles.
Hang on, Caveman says real men collect Pokemon cards. No, they don't.
Yeah, I was just going to put that up on the screen. Good one, Caveman.
Well, they do have Warhammer Magic the Gathering now, so I guess technically it's Pokemon Warhammer.
I wanted to get a set of that, but it sold out so quickly.
Yeah, I mean,
Warhammer.
I'll probably buy it for the sake of it. I don't know if I'd play it, but I'm just one of those people.
Yeah, exactly. Just
if it has orcs.
So is it actually made by Wizards of the Coast?
Yeah, it's literally Magic the Gathering, but 40k.
It's really just like
insane.
I mean, in a way, it's just like a relabel because I think, like, obviously the rules and the characters are fairly similar to like the legit ones, but then it's just a different skin on top of it, just obviously to suit Warhammer.
You have Abaddon leading your Chaos Marines and that sort of stuff.
Yes, Abaddon. I will see him one day, won't I, Rolfus?
Yes, he's undercoated and he's base
What did
coated.
what did I do? I think I got that for your 40th birthday, was it?
Yeah. So I was going to
And what
start
are
a
you
Chaos Marine
now?
army, but I just ran out of steam on that project.
All right. So we'll have a look at the Ultimates data set. So this is the one I think. This one I think comes with like the 2 combat patrol
terrain
boxes.
So you get extra by having the terrain and stuff, which was a fair bit of plastic. I'm not too bad. My brother got me the Beast Boss last year for my birthday in October, and I kind of almost finished it. I mean, you can't see the paint, but yeah, he's almost done.
So it says it contains everything in the starter set, as well as a Librarian in Terminator armor, 5 barb gaunts, topping both factions up to full combat patrol size.
Yeah, so on top of that, just not quite combat patrol.
Yep. So on top of that, it comes with an extra cardboard gaming board, STC Hab bunker, and 8 stock cards to create a fully featured battlefield to play on. Plus, it's got an ultimate handbook. Yep.
If I didn't have anything and I wanted to like dip my toe into it, that would probably be the set, because having terrain means obviously you don't have to use like a Coke can and like a tissue box or whatever.
Yes.
Bananas, bananas make really good barricades.
Bananas.
Yeah, because they're like that little sort of like a little sandbag bunker, because they're like that.
What about
semi-curve? Yeah.
What about sausages? And then they're linked, so you can sort of like.
Don't buddy going about sausages.
Jonesy reckons he's got some Trademon Pokemon trading cards. Well, I actually had some first edition trading cards for Pokemon. I had probably a box full of them, and they disappeared. So I have no idea where they're gone. We have a feeling somebody. No, it wouldn't have been you, but we have a feeling somebody else might have taken them and used them or whatever. But anyway,
do have a bit of nostalgia for Pokemon, because when I was a kid, I kind of liked, going to the news agency and getting sticker packets or little collector cards. So Pokemon was up my, alley for that sort of stuff at the time, and up my G spot for the time.
They hit the G spot.
Saying I'm like, I say up my street, up my alley, or.
So it also says with
terrains doesn't look as good as the stuff from the last edition.
It looks a little bit small. Like like why is the Marine so big? It's like they walk through the door, but they may as well step over it.
So it says down here that it's got the full core rules, as well as the combat patrol rules and all 6 combat patrol missions from the core book, which you can play with just the contents of the box. So that's pretty cool.
Before you had like special missions that like sort of stepped you through the game, but they're like really shit and so one-sided. Just having the base combat patrol rules is really good. Yeah.
And it looks like you can just get in and play with each of the sets. So that's pretty good. It's going to be interesting to see what the prices are, though. I reckon the Ultimate will go for a few hundred.
I'm guessing probably about 200. I think the last one was about. Oh, it might be even more than that, actually.
Yeah, sometimes with these sets, they be a little bit more generous, because obviously it's like for beginners in a way. So it's like they don't want to throw you in the deep end and let you realize how bloody expensive this stuff is straight away. But I mean, I was looking in Warhammer shop the other day. I got some paints and stuff. I was kind of tempted to buy maybe the new rule book, because that was one of the things in the 5, and I kind of wanted. It was like $100+. I'm like, now, especially now they gave a lot of that stuff free online, and then I've got the app where you give you the combat patrol and the data sheets for free on the app.
Yeah,
so it's like, again, getting the book will just be like a lot of stuff I've got here. Will just sit here. I might have to flip through it and then like forget kind of I've got it. So it's just money down the drain.
If you love lore and that sort of stuff, it's worth it. But just for actual gameplay and stuff, it's useless. It's not even it's that errata than fact already, but it's basically pointless.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I mean, I
really?
do love lore and stuff, but these days when you've got lore channels and stuff, you can just throw on YouTube and go to someone that
Yeah,
will explain it well, and you can paint and hobby while you're listening to the lore.
I've been watching. I'll listen to a bit of Luton lately. I love his stuff.
I mean, especially
Luton's
when I'm more
amazing.
of an orc player, as long as someone says wire a few times and like
Yeah.
crumping zogging humans, then I'm happy.
Have you
Nod and
listened to
smile.
him much at all, G?
No, because he mainly does. Well, does he do every faction?
Oh, he does everything. Like he was talking about the
Yeah.
Night Lords, and they've got like a wall of human beings, like just combined. And there's like a dude whose job it is to keep the wall moist.
Oh, I'd love to
To
be
keep
that
them
guy.
all
Eh?
moist.
Bit of
Yeah,
root.
he keeps the wall moist because they're all like human beings, just basically sewn together.
I
Eternal agony.
reckon
That's just-
in the year 40K they'll get their little whatever they have to hologram something up, and they'll get old G up on the screen, and everybody will be as moist as.
Oh yes,
Yeah, that's it.
especially with the sausage talk.
Yeah, they'll just have my lore about the sausages just playing for everyone.
Yep. And just to let anyone know that is watching, I have no idea about 40K. I've played that one game with Rolfus the other day. It was quite fun, but I'm not an expert. So I'm with the rest of you guys. If they go off and talk all this gobbity stuff that I have no idea about, so you're not alone out there.
Get into Dawn of War. Did you ever play that?
It's interesting you say that, because I actually got an email from GOG Games today about Dawn of War 2 being on special, and like everybody was like, "This is shit. This is shit. This is shit. Don't get it."
No, I love Dawn
I've still
of War.
got Dawn of War
even
1
like
on my PC.
Even the third one I think wasn't well received, but I mean I love my real time strategy as well. I loved one reason as well I like orcs is because of Warhammer, but it's because of Warcraft as well. I used to love playing Warcraft, the strategy game. Didn't really get into World of Warcraft. You just need too much time and grinding and then going into dungeons. It's all right, but I was more into Diablo for those sort of types of games, like more role playing. But I bloody loved Warcraft. Me and a friend, he used to have a few computers linked up in his house, so we'd be able to jump on and just throw in a game and smash it out. But that's as well
LAN parties
because Warcraft obviously has a very similar aesthetic, and the orcs are green skins. They're slightly cartoony, but also realistic. Where I'm not that into when it comes to Lord of the Rings. I'm more like side with the humans and the elves and the dwarves, where the orcs are okay, but they're not my kind of orcs. They're a little bit too on the savage side, and
they're just like basically a war machine, really, aren't they? In Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Well, I like as well in the Warhammer. They have that Cockney accent as well. They have that where it's like broken English and like slightly like English sort of pronunciation, and like how they say instead of here they just drop out the H and have like E-I and So
do you remember Rolfus, the Warhammer Online that we used to play? You didn't play
I loved that so much. That was so much fun.
I know. And like the orcs in that just talk like Warhammer orcs. It's just amazing. They just get there and go, and then like you got the goblins and they're like, don't hurt me.
Yes.
They nailed all the voice acting in that in so well, but it's a pretty shit game.
Like I love the trailers when they come out for orcs. Like I love the trailers when they come out for orcs. The narrators they get for some of the Warhammer voice acting is just top tier. And I really like the Gloomspite Gitz trailer when it came out. It was like the new Zogrot Daloon King, and he's like the new big boss for Gloomspite, which are the Goblin faction for Age of Sigmar. And he had like this slight Jamaican accent, like this slight, like sort of Caribbean. And he's like, the bad moon spoke to me once. And he's like, I love that. And they had that in Warcraft as well. The trolls, when you keep them poking the troll, he's like, what do you want me to do?
Oh, it's good to see Caveman's with me. Caveman has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, he's probably like, what's G doing right about now? Me,
Yeah.
like, either I'm talking about naked aliens,
This is
Warhammer, or
everyone's.
how much I love
This
sausages.
this is like Rolfus's real passion, and everybody. Well, I guess it's your real passion as well, G. But it's more my alter ego side of thing. Caveman's probably more used to us doing all the food reviews and that, and probably you as well at the moment, Rolfus. So
yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, like 40k is so fucked up in many ways. Like, if you like horror, you'd like 40k, especially like some of the
Yeah,
artwork and some of the stories.
When you was
Gonna-
mentioning stuff before, it has that sort of Hellraiser, that sort of like
Yeah.
really, what's the word, like dominatrix, sort of like a little bit kinky and grimdark and gothic.
just
There's
showing.
another story.
That's why I think the
Showing-
arts work so well in 40k, because they're a little bit away from that gothic aesthetic and a little bit more
Yeah.
light-hearted. Even though they just want to kill stuff and fight stuff, they still have
Like the
that
face
sort
of the game is a bit more, less
serious
it's a
tone.
bit more subtle. But like once you delve into like the books and the lore, it gets really messed up pretty quick.
I'm just showing Caveman kind of what the orcs look like with their, what's this called, the Big Breaker or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
breaker
so that's
boys.
that's they're mega knobs, because they'd love to call them
They're
knobs
mega
in the
knobs.
book, but
Big
yeah, that's
No wonder you
knob-
love them,
knob-
G.
yeah. So they're
So he
the
loves a
mega
big
knobs,
knob.
and then you get a war boss in mega armor, because he's above a big mega knob. Once you're a mega knob, you're pretty, but then you become a war boss in mega armor, so you're
Yeah.
even bigger knob. And then they have knobs before
Then
you
you
get
got your
into
little, is that a
mega
little
knob.
git down there?
Yeah, so he's an oiler grot. So he's like Rolf has said earlier. He just goes around
lubes 'em up.
lubricating the big boys.
Yeah. He lubes up.
Goes
the
lubricating the big boys.
That's the big knobs, or the mega knobs as they are. And that's the battle wagon, but it's got like as orcs would say, a dead killy roller on the front, because it's
Dead
kills
Killy
well.
Roller. You just gotta fucking love their names, don't you?
Oh yeah.
And just just like you can see how much firepower that's got, but orcs are
Yeah.
very ramshackle, so you can imagine a bit falls off in war and they just stick it on, and they'll get like a little
Okay.
grot to weld it back on and slap it on the arse and send it back into
Yeah.
battle.
That does look crazy, Caveman. So, G and Rolfish, just to give like Caveman that a bit of an idea. As I said, I'm a bit of a noob myself. So, seeing that you're painting miniatures at the moment, how long would it take to paint like a miniature like that? The big breaker there.
Oh, like a
That'd
pretty
be-
basic job.
Yeah, like say if you were to get it on the table versus like obviously the one that you see on the screens by the Games Workshop people, so they
It'd be
probably
a
spend
few-
days on it.
It'd be a few days' work, and if you wanted to do their level, that'd be like, especially with their skill, that would probably be, they'd probably be able to smash it out in a few days because they know what they're doing. But say like more of a noob trying to be a bit
Yep.
better, that would be like a good week's worth. But I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes I paint stuff for like a week and then kind of get bored, or just because when I'm making content, I
Oh,
put
there's a
stuff
good-
to the side.
There's a good picture of what the orcs look like. They look so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, they're the mega
Yeah, but
knobs.
probably about
So the-
probably about a day, like a good day, probably about 5 to 6 hours, like 10 models if you're doing like a pretty basic job.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to be smart, say if you wanted to do the yellow's hard to paint. Now you have contrast paints where you can spray the
Yeah.
model white, and it looks
Yep.
really good just splashing that on. But if I wanted to do yellows, I'd get a yellow undercoat spray paint, because then that will
Yep.
speed up the process instead of having to layer on the yellow. And then all the silvers, if you wanted to play it smart again, you'd get an undercoat like a spray paint and spray that silver.
Yep.
That would just
What do
speed
you-
up the process.
Yeah. So what are you painting at the moment, Rolfus?
So I'm painting Necrons. Oh, I just messed up a bit.
All right. So I'll show the people what the Necrons look like. So
Yeah, give the people what they want.
they're the grumpy old. What do you call them? The grumpy old robots or
my
something.
Lawn.
Get off my lawn.
Let's think
Now,
of
the
like
best
Clint
way to
Eastwood
look
as a
at it
Terminator.
is the best way to look at Necrons is they're inspired definitely by Terminator, because they have the skeletal
yeah.
robotic look, but also they're basically the Fantasy has undead, which are skeletons, but they have that Egyptian aesthetic as well in Necron. So they're kind of like
Yeah.
they're futuristic skeletons or undead, but they have like an Egyptian theme with it, where they have monoliths and they have like stuff that pharaohs would have back in the day.
I can see the monolith here. I swear I looked at that the other day and it was like nearly $300. Now it's showing us 185.
Oh, that might have been the obelisk. I think the obelisk is like almost 300.
Okay. What's a cool Necron that we can show Caveman? There's quite a few of. They're all cool, you reckon?
Like show them one of the arcs or something. The big ghost.
I do like Necrons, but
like this one here, Triarch Stalker.
The one that I really like is the slot Silent King. He's probably on the next page, where he's like it's just very Egyptian pharaoh. Like he's the big guy, and he's got a couple of guards next to him, and he's on kind of like this throne / floated platform sort of thing.
Okay,
he looks super dope.
Sorry, it's being a bit slow jumping to the next page. But if we have a look at, I'll see if I can bring this dude up. I'm assuming you can hear me okay. He looks wicked.
Yeah, he's dope as. But see how he's got like the shoulders and the robe, but it's more of a cloak, and it's sort of, instead of organic, it's more technology and but he has that Egyptian sort of old school feel to him.
See, I painted it up in probably about 2 hours because I just did like a pretty tabletop standard. So
but
I don't.
Yeah, you can obviously they're
pretty good.
Okay, so they're a bit easier, perhaps.
They can be.
I actually did a painting video for that for a Necron where it's like an easy scheme. All I did is like a dark silver, washed it, built up to a brighter silver, did some red on the eyes, and I did like a slight OSL where it's object source light, and
I'm gonna try and find Necron's Royal Court. That looks pretty. This thing looks fucking insane.
Yeah, I've got to get one of those.
Yeah,
no worries.
Stop
and by, mate.
Yeah,
hey, Jonesy, nice to see you again, mate. But that looks just so wicked.
He's definitely cool. But see how he's like all broken up and like he's kind of reanimated in a way.
Oh yeah, I see in the middle bit there. He's like,
broken up.
That's a pretty wicked one. I think that's probably one of my favorites. I'm trying to find.
Yeah, the Silent King's just there next.
Oh, was it?
So the problem is I'm trying to like just collect stuff that's like pretty good in the game. I'm not like being like what you call a meta chaser, but just I don't know. That's how I sort of like buy stuff and plan my next purchase just to.
Is that the obelisk there? What was the one you were talking about?
How much?
So that's only $170. That's
maybe you're looking in the wrong currency.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Maybe. Like,
wicked! He's so cool.
Yeah, I got him. I actually bought him already painted, so I cheated a bit there.
This guy's reminds me of like a boss from a video game as well. See how he kind of has those two shields, and when you kill big bosses in video games, sometimes you need to weaken them and take out the parts until you get to the boss. And the boss tends to not be as strong. It's kind of like all of the elements together that create the harder difficulty to take him down. So I mean, imagine an orc running up to that like the Incredible Hulk, he would just tear him apart. But because of all these little elements to it, it would prevent him from doing that straight away.
Just insane the detail that's in these things.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing what they do now.
Yeah, and that's when you have to cut a sub assembly and paint. Because say if you tried to paint the dude who's standing there on the throne, the Silent King himself, it's going to be hard to get into all of his nooks and crannies. So you tend to paint him separately and glue him on after.
Bloody Wi-Fi.
Back to the Scrag Brown.
Yeah. We're not showing you painting much though, Rolf. Sorry.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just painting a bunch. You're just slapping paint on a base like that. I'm not doing anything exciting. I'm just here painting, so I thought I might as well jump on the live stream while I paint.
Yeah. Oh, I'm having fun. I'm just have fun just browsing at all this stuff.
Oh, you can do it for hours, yeah.
So I heard the Eldari or Eldari, are they? Is that what they are? They've had a bit of a nerf recently.
Yeah, they're still
Games Workshop went for a phase where it wanted to copyright everything, so some stuff's still what it is, but originally they were space elves, space orcs, and then they moved into just calling them Eldar instead of elves, the futuristic ones, and now they're like Eldari, so it's their own version word. Even in Age of Sigmar, they call them elves, but they spell it with an A at the beginning. So they
AELVS.
Yeah.
So what would be your favourite orc miniature, G, so I can try and find it?
I mean, I love a lot of them because I love the aesthetic, but probably Gazgul.
Yeah, let's see if I can find him. So Gazgul.
Just he's fairly new. They released the model back into the hobby a few years back.
I was definitely looking at the wrong currency or something because the Stomper was like over $200 what I was looking at.
Yeah, it's a bit too much even for GW standards.
Yeah. 140 is, I guess, reasonable.
Yeah, if you go up to currency, I think you might be looking at American.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It doesn't let me change currency. Just there. Oh, here we are, Australia.
And then you'll probably see like them just all of it go up to like thousands.
Don't let Daz control your live stream, whatever you do.
Oh, it's all right.
So if you jump back on orcs, see how much the Stomper is now. It probably is about $200, I reckon.
Things are a little bit dearer now, so let's go back in here.
I do like Snick Rod as well.
Oh yeah, Boss Nick Rod. Oh yeah, I've seen you do an unboxing of him. Hold on. Oh, they're all in a different order now. A Morkanaut.
Oh, they're cool.
Basically like a smaller version of the Stomper that you was mentioning before. They're just big robots, really, I guess.
Oh god, they got bloody bikes and
I like the Death Killer War Trike there as well. See how it's basically a biker on a.
oh, hold on, they got bloody planes and everything.
Yeah, they sure do. There's Gazgul, the middle at the bottom row.
Okay, I was going to say, which of the bikes did you like?
The middle one.
The Death Killer War Trike.
It has a very Mad Max, but also a bikey look to it. You got the war boss and then you got the driver.
Pretty Mad Max.
Yeah.
What are the little red things like helmets on the side there?
They're where they're like the thrusters or whatever, because at first I was kind of wondering, but I guess it's just that orc aesthetic, how it's a little bit deadly sharp and animalistic slightly, but you know, they have to have all those spikes and bits on it.
Yeah, okay, yep.
The funny orcs are kind of into their vehicles. They have like a mech shop where you can go and they have a lot of buggies, they call them, but they're just like various vehicles.
Do they have anything like night goblins in 40k? Because they were always insane, getting high on their mushrooms and all their weird stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the grots are like slaves in 40k for orcs. So all of the goblins, they call them grots or Gretchen. Gretchen is the real name. Grots is like a term orcs call them.
Yep.
To see that little goblin or whatever there, they use them as kind of slaves. So they're the chaff unit, where they're more meat shields in 40k. Where in obviously fantasy they have the night goblins, and they do have a character in war like orcs called the Red Gobbo, where he started a rebellion of him and grots against orcs.
Yep.
I like that character.
Yep. All right, I'll go back.
But yeah, Makari Makari is his banner waver, so everywhere that Gazgul has to go, the little grot or goblin has to follow him and wave the banner, so everyone knows that it's Gazgul.
Okay.
Even though you can probably tell by the big orc standing there, but if you don't notice who Gazgul is, you got the little dude
Oh,
waving
hello.
the banner just to let everyone know.
Yep.
But yeah, Gazgul is. I guess you have mega knobs. I said you have War Boss and Mega Armor, and he'd
Yep.
be, the big knob, like the biggest knob there
Yep.
is.
The
I guess
biggest
it'd be
knob there
what they
is.
call it, BBC or whatever they call it.
Yeah. I'm just looking at his armor, and it's like, how the hell does he even wear that around?
Well, these days he keeps on growing inside, but he got his head cut off, so they basically just sewed that head onto a big orc, and it's mainly like
Big
mechanical
robot.
now. Yeah,
they
Kinda
just
like
cut his head off and
Frankenstein
put a new
now.
one on.
Yeah, he's kind of like Frankenstein now, where he's just and orcs grow when they fight. When they fight and get stronger, they grow. So he's obviously the biggest
Okay.
orc there is.
Yep. See, that stuff I did not know. I haven't really got into any of the lore in 40k or read much about it at all. I was going to ask you a question the other night, G, when we were on live, and I completely forgot to ask you, or Rolfus, if you know. But is there kind of like a miniatures kind of Cthulhu kind of game that you know of or heard of at all?
Yes. It's called. I actually own a bit at Malifaux. So it's like setting I think it's like setting people's nightmares or something. Put it on the screen, Dad. Look up Malifaux.
Yeah, I'm just
one
here
game that I wouldn't mind. A game
like
I wouldn't mind getting into that seems super fun, but you need a group of friends. You probably heard of it, Rolf, as Zombicide.
Oh yes, yeah.
So Zombicide, and then you can get like Marvel versions and brand versions. But Zombicide is basically a group of survivors killing zombies. But you can say if you want to kill something and it needs an axe, you can use your friend's axe, and you have to roll a dice, obviously, and depending on your roll, you might get it or fumble, or it just seems like
it's
very
like
interactive
sort of
and
game.
yeah, and it's meant to be sort of super easy compared to Warhammer. Just much more straightforward, I guess, because you're normally controlling one character each, and then you sort of all play the zombies.
Another one that I was looked kind of cool is called Flames of War.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I haven't played much of that, but it's good fun, especially like World War II stuff.
Yeah, I like the idea of the tanks and all that. I'll show this one up here and see if this is the right one, Rolfus.
If you did ever get into Warhammer, Warhammer, Daz, and you like your kind of World War and tanks, you might like Imperial Guard because they have they're more human in World War times, but they're futuristic, but they have a lot of tanks and shit like that.
They're basically Russians in space. World War II Russians.
Okay. Yep.
You're like, their equipment's crap, but it does the job, and they just basically use people as assets, so they don't worry about their lives or anything.
Yep.
Yeah, because most armies will have 20 to 40 plus little men, so obviously they're kind of chaff, but if you've got that many people shooting, they tend to do a bit of damage, and their guns aren't too bad. It's just if a big orc or alien go near them, they're pretty stuffed.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I haven't got around to it yet, but I want to start rereading H.P. Lovecraft. So
yeah, I've got one of these books in the garage I bought a while ago. I haven't read yet.
Yeah, they're only little short stories. His longest one's only 100 pages or something, but they're pretty cool. Given how long ago they were written, the guy himself's not a very nice fella, but he definitely had a very vivid imagination.
When I was a kid, I loved Goosebump books because I used to go to hospital a lot because of my asthma and different things when I was a kid. So a lot of time with my mum on the way back, we would grab a Goosebump book, but I really like them. They're super short as well, not that long. And
I remember them. Yep.
But really loved the cover, so I loved picking out a book that had the cover. That they say don't judge a book by its cover, but a lot of times with Goosebumps, you kind of would see get the most cool looking one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, R.L. Stein is pretty good for a writer.
So I was going to say, Rolfus, when I was looking at the 40K, like the starter sets and that, and it looks like what are the big books called? The codexes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Necron Codex is one of the first ones to get released after, I think, Tyranids and Space Marines, is it?
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
early on, apparently.
I'd say it'd probably be
What?
Space Marines, Nids, and then Necrons probably.
Yeah, it was Necrons and someone else. I can't remember what the other one was. So what are these codexes? Are they just like a more expanded rules or something, are they?
Yeah. More rules and more army law and that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So say if you're a new player and you didn't have a clue what anything was, sometimes when I was a kid, I used to like and sort of maybe choosing an army or just to learn more back in before internet. Used to go into Games Workshop and like read some of the lore, especially the first few pages, how it tells you what the army's about, and definitely helps me to get connected with the army. And then obviously it has the rules, and it has some black and white pages, and then you get to the color pages. The color pages are normally like painting guides and just like showing you the painted miniatures instead of artwork.
Yeah.
And the problem was in 9th edition, you'll get your rule book, your codex, and you have to go between your relics and back to your character, to the warlord traits, to the relics, to the character, to the stratagems. And you're just thinking, this is just fucking ridiculous.
What?
It's like you'd have to like keep going bouncing between the codex for like all this stuff. Like there's a million different figures you have to look for, and it was so poorly written.
Yeah, that's why Age of
your paints.
I've spit my water.
Age of Sigma and 40K are doing it now. They have the cards where it has all your rules and like normally it has your abilities and stuff on the card, so you can just flip through cards instead of having to flip through like a 200-page book or whatever.
Yeah, like there might be like 1 page of extra rules and that's it. Apart from your your characters.
Like I'm keen to. You guys did the Combat Patrol, right? I'm keen to do that because the app that has the section for the Combat Patrol, so I can bring up the character I'm about to play, and I can read all like the abilities. And they've obviously scaled back like some of the weapons, and I think the only one who gets stratagems is the orc, the war boss. So obviously it's more cut down, so the one character has a lot more going on than the rest of them and stuff. So it'll be a good to get back into gaming that way, I feel.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying to Rolf. It's like when I've only played the 2K games of 40K, and the second game that we played with the Combat Patrol felt a lot easier and a lot simpler to understand. And a lot more streamlined. Like just even though like we still have to refer to the index cards every now and again, but it just seemed to cut out a lot of the stuff that didn't really need to be there. It was like they just were piling rules on top of rules just to for some unknown reason. It's as I was saying to Rolfus as well, like it feels like it's more tailored now and more accessible for a lot more people, which is probably what they're aiming for. Try and get bit of traction into getting new people into the genre and the miniature gaming and that. And that's when you look at those starter kits, it definitely seems like they're kind of tailoring it that way as well.
And it's also good for even though more experienced players, because sometimes you just want to have a quick game over like a coffee or something, and you just want to So it's still 40K.
So the Combat Patrols, and also it's a totally different game, but it's based in the same universe. But Kill Team, and then they've got Warcry, which is the fantasy version, where it's just a small group of like one squad of people, but they have like they won't die straight away because they got more wounds, so they'll last in the game longer. But those sort of games
Okay.
would be good for people that don't want. Some of those games will only go for like an hour, 2 hours, maybe tops, where sometimes 40k, you kind of get a bit burnt out, even if you really do enjoy playing and stuff. It just,
Mm.
when you're going to throw and dice and stand in for that long, you kind of just want to have a sit down and just, a nana nap or something.
Yeah. And
The problem is too,
it's
like Kill Team and that, it's a different rule system, so you're not really playing 40k, whereas Combat Patrol is still the same rule system, just not as many special rules.
Yeah, I'm definitely keen for Combat Patrol. It seems like hopefully I'll get a few games of that in, and then I can move up to, like, with the dude that I'm going to have some games with. He'll basically we'll add like a couple more things and do a bit like a 1k game after, and just I need to build that muscle memory again where I kind of know what I'm doing a bit more.
Yep.
But I am pretty I don't know, I wouldn't say scared because I don't think orcs ever get scared, but the Terminators, I've versed Death Guard Terminators before, and they didn't want to die, but they do have that disgusting resilience where they have that last save. And just these new Terminators, I think they're going to be, pretty tough to fight.
What's that in called? Kill Zone.
Oh no, I'm talking Combat Patrol now, which is
okay,
from the new set. It's just those Terminators. Terminators Captain. It has these flamer dudes and the Librarian in Terminator armor. I get a bit of a mismatch. My Combat Patrol is a bit of a mismatch. I get the Orc War Boss. I get 20 Orc Boys, which aren't the best, but if they get close, there's a lot of people them throwing around axes or whatever, choppers.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I get a Dread, and then like 3 Death Copters, they call them, which are like little helicoptery things that have rockets. When you get close, you can use the blades of the propellers.
Well, at least they've got a bit of speed and some stuff.
Yeah, sometimes rockets could be okay. I think as well with the Death Copters, I'll probably go to like objectives and stuff, and then see how I go.
Yep. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed as well. It's when compared to say Warhammer Fantasy, it seems not so get in there and bash the crap out of each other. It's a little bit more strategic in capturing points and objectives and that kind of stuff as well. It was very different.
Orcs, though, because orcs just normally do want to, most of the time they want to get in and just throw around their arms and just bash stuff close range.
Well, that's the funny thing. Like, you think the orcs would play like that, but they're actually quite, I wouldn't say delicate, but they can get wiped out if you misplay them a little bit. So you have to be pretty careful of them still.
Yeah.
I guess that's the whole thing. Everyone's going to be a little bit delicate in some certain scenarios. It's like, can't just go in and sacrifice everything or be like me and forget to take an objective and move from the lower point objective to the higher point objective.
Yeah.
I believe we still did that. It was a very interesting game. It was like, who's going to be able to resurrect the most stuff?
Yeah, it did feel like that in the end.
It's basically undead versus undead, really.
Pretty much.
In a way. It was like, I've killed this thing, and then all of a sudden, like what was it? The Doom machine or whatever it was? The Doom cannon. Look, yes, I've taken it down, so many wounds, and then at the end of the turn, Rolfus just rolls the dice, and it's like, oh no, it's got 3 wounds back, and it's like, oh.
Yes.
So I'm assuming.
I do know Poxwalker spam is something that people use sometimes. Like, just spam a lot of them.
Yep. Yeah, it's like just zerg in and try and hope that you keep your numbers up to keep going. That's what it kind of felt like with them.
Yeah.
But then you got to be a bit tactical and make sure they're all in range and that kind of stuff as well. So
yeah.
there's definitely some tactical stuff involved, and then you've obviously might have lady luck on your side, or you may not. I remember, I think twice in a row I was doing something and rolled double ones twice, so that kind of sucked. And then like a couple of turns later, and I get like 14 zombies back or something stupid.
It was pretty crazy.
So there's always that little bit of RNG.
Oh, the RNGesus.
Yes, definitely. All right. Well, I'm going to disappear. I'm just going to go back into the background now.
Yeah, no, I'll probably finish it up in a minute. I'm just going to do this gold in these pipes, and then I'll probably.
Oh, okay.
Get ready for work
I'll hang
tomorrow.
around.
Yeah.
Hang around for
Yeah, I'll hang around for 5 more minutes. We'll go. We'll go to about
I
quarter
was going to
past.
say I'm probably in the same boat. Had to get up super early to take Mrs. Daz to the hospital. Got up earlier today than I would for going to work, so that kind of sucked. Then I tried to go and have a lay down before, and it was like, no, that's not happening either. So
yeah. Sometimes you feel worse after a lay down, though. It's the problem.
Yeah, and then you can't get to sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah. So when's this tournament thing you were talking about the other day starting?
What's the date now? I think it's in 2 weeks' time. So this is it not this weekend? So it'll be it might be 2 weeks from Saturday.
Okay.
It's a 2-day event, yeah.
So where's that? Where you playing that at?
The Best Western in town. The
okay.
hotel in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They've got like a big function room.
Yep. Yeah, cool.
There's like 60 people they can fit in there. 60. So it's 30 tables.
Oh wow, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, it's a pretty big event. It's not our championship one.
Okay.
That's in November, I think it is. Our cup.
Yeah, I might have to see if I can pop down for a couple of hours and have a look or something. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Because I do try to take some footage for the channel, but it's just you're just in between. Like basically, once the game finishes, you've got like 10 minutes to get ready for the next game.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Then you probably take a fair bit of memory. So, how many points is it for your army? Is it like 2,000?
Yeah, 2,000 each.
It's going to be a pretty long game then, anyway.
Hopefully it's not a bit. I think it's about 3 hours per round in 9th edition, and that's like including setting up and that sort of stuff. So hopefully it's not quite that long.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I'll wait and see.
Yep. That'd be pretty tiring at the end of the game for me, I reckon, these days. 3 hours of concentrating on stuff and
normally
around and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we started. I think it's 10 o'clock. The first round starts, and normally there till about 7 at night, finishing your last game. So it's basically a 4 days work, really.
Yeah. Okay. And 3 games, is it?
Yeah, 3 games on the first day, then 2 games on the second day.
Oh, Jesus, 2 days in a row.
Yeah, well, the bigger ones, you have 8 games, so you have 2 free days and 1 2-day at the end.
Yep.
I think the Adelaide Uprising's 3 days.
Have you watched any of Vanguard Tactics, Rufus?
On and off. I'm not the biggest fan of them.
Okay.
I don't like watching as much streaming stuff.
Yeah, because I saw him on. I just like I think his name's Stephen Box, one of the presenters. He was on Paint and Phase, which is what Peachy.
Oh, I love Paint and Phase. You should watch that, Daz.
Yeah, Paint and Phase is
what
great.
Is it?
Paint and Phase. The Paint and Phase, and it has Peachy, who was like a Games Workshop employee, and gives some of like the inside goss. But he's actually
okay.
He created a Necron dynasty. He created a Imperial Guard chapter or whatever they call them. So he's actually partaken in like creating like his own version. His Imperial Guard, they're kind of a little bit more fantasy, but in 40k the way they look. But painting phase, it was originally they wanted to get Peachy on because he was a painting presenter, but it's got to the point where it's become more of a interview show, and they kind of call that their podcast a sidetrack because they meant to be talking about Warhammer, and then they just start talking a bunch of bollocks. And it's really good because they're just so laid back, and it's not as strict as, like, say, if you watched a proper Warhammer presentation. It's but yeah, they had Vanguard Tactics recently on there, and that was a super cool tour. They get like Golden Demon, like professional painters on to have conversations. And stuff. It's just they have all different people from different walks of the hobby, like some who are into the painting, some that are into the gaming. But it's super casual because they'll just have tea and biscuits and stuff on the table and just sit there and have a chat. And one dude's a barber and he was in the military, so he always has to say, "Oh yeah."
When I was in the military,
yeah, it's like he feels left out, so he has to bring it up every episode. Like, oh yeah,
do you remember Derek?
When I'm a barber.
Oh yeah, Derek. Yeah,
he's like Derek because Derek used to be in like the reserves, and he'd be like, "Oh, when I was in the reserves, we'll do this and this and this, and we'll do it this way."
Yeah,
he's exactly like Derek, like big beard and big fella, and lovely bloke.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Yeah, they're great because the dude that edits, but he does talk and stuff as well in the background. He filmed battle reports for Warhammer, so he's great with the camera work. When they do the podcast, it's kind of just face, and then group shot. But when he does the actual painting videos, like it'll look amazing. The lighting, like sometimes they have like red glows and tinges to it, and just the camera work is just top notch. That's why when I do like a painting video and I've got like the one camera and I do painting videos, I'm like, and I spend an hour's editing it. I'm like, should I even bother when there's got people that it's like cinematic, like a movie, but painting video.
Yeah, I don't think I could do painting videos.
Speaking of
too much.
Yeah. I'm going to say, speaking of videos, when's your next one coming up, G? Because I'm just looking at your page now and it's been a month.
Yeah, so I am. Funny enough, I wanted to paint this miniature, and you did mention it as a joke, but I'm like, I like painting skin, so I have this. If I'm going to be able to even, it's a vampire ghoul creature, but I'll probably just do the skin. So I'll be doing like, like pale dead skin. So it'll be like sort of grey.
He's showing
grey
on
the
miniature.
screen. That's what I was trying to get you up on the thing. Oh, there we go.
So it's basically a character for Age of Sigmar, which is a vampire faction, undead, and it's pretty cinematic and cool. But I'll probably just do. It would take too long to really show me doing it all. So I reckon just like that orc video that was fairly popular. I'll do skin where it's kind of like very grey.
This is why I am in charge, Rolfus. You leave the buttons alone. Let me tickle the buttons, and you just worry about the juices. I'll
give you a little sneak peek if I can remember where I threw it. Like obviously, I do some reviews and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Jesus! Don't put me in control.
You're killing me off.
There we are. That's better.
I guess I like to show third parties and other companies. I mean, I'm mainly an orc channel, but there's a Mezgite who does YouTube, and he started doing 3D sculpting. And I have had these since December. But I mean, I'll turn off this bloody effect for a second.
It's good, but annoying.
These came really love. These came. I didn't even turn it off. So these came really nice. I was actually more impressed because he's just like.
There we go.
But Mezgite, and then the miniatures come in these little boxes. I might as well just use this as my unboxing. but they come in these like almost like jewelry little boxes, and then you get the miniature
Oh.
with
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
has a few different sculpts, and this is resin and 3D printed, but it's bloody crisp. And then you get the
Oh,
base.
3D
So
printing.
I've got two different, yeah, and it's super crisp. And he's an Aussie bloke, so supporting people here. It
Yep.
you get like say like with the war boss, you get a few different heads, and instead of having a cigar, because I love the way when he does painting videos, he's really good, and he's just very Aussie and laid back. And instead of giving the orc a cigar, it's like a cigarette. So he's like, oh, there he is with his ciggy and stuff. And just,
Yeah.
I've got two different war bosses, but he does a lot of orcs. He does his version of Mega Knobs, which I believe he called Mez Knobs or something. But he,
You need
yeah,
a
his
Siggy
stuff is,
and a long neck of VB.
Have you watched that Friendly
Yeah.
Johnny's video where he's at Wagga and he's like they're reenacting that Ziggy Butt Brain sketch?
Yes.
You're a Ziggy Butt Brain. No, I'm not.
Yes,
he's
that is
awesome. So,
actually. Go, G.
no, I'm just talking about orcs again. You know me.
Oh.
But yeah, he just
okay.
he ended up following. It's just funny when I not necessarily look up to, but I think he's a great content creator. He has hundreds of thousands of views, and because I share his stuff quite a lot on my social media, G the Hypersapien on Facebook, if anyone wants to follow it. I'm just joking. But yeah, he actually followed the page, so it's like this dude that has a way bigger influence than I do, and he just gave me a follow. But I do plan to
That's
review
cool.
them, and he has a few other stuff that I want to review. He does have his own version of Gretchen, and Gretchen for Games Workshop only had 10 different bodies for the goblins and a couple of different heads for them. But I'll be getting Mezgite's one, so then I'll have Games Workshop's 10, and I do technically have another 10, and then I'll get Mezgite has A and B, so that'd be another 20 little goblins and Gretchens. So it's nice
Yep.
just to have different options. There's other companies that I reviewed. RTLW is really good. I believe they're Russian. Cromlech, which I think is German. But yeah, I've reviewed a few different third parties, they call them, which are just different companies
They're looking
than
cool.
Games Workshop. Yeah, I
I'm just
love the
bringing out
purple, and
camera.
there's like the little bit of that sort of gold bronze color.
Yeah.
Definitely complements
to
each
get it.
other because yellow and purple are complementary colors, because unfortunately I've got a bit of an art background as well, unfortunately. So, I talk a lot of bollocks, but sometimes I know a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's like
All right.
the color wheel, isn't it?
Roll first.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt. I've got to go. I've got to go and get some wood and that for the fire. So I'm just going to remove myself from the stream. So thanks for having me. Good to see you again, G. As always, a pleasure. And I'll catch you. I'll be in chat, so I'll still be around, but I'm just going to.
I'll probably head off now
from the live. So
get my stuff ready for tomorrow and have a shower and tidy up dinner and stuff. And
all right. Yeah. Okay. See you, Roll first. See you, G.
See you, Daz.
See you, anybody that's still lurking out there.
There's lurkers in there somewhere. I know there's lurkers in there somewhere.
To Aussie, I reckon.
Yeah, probably. To Aussie and
because
I
shared it the other day when I shared that he followed me. It was actually G the Hypersapien he followed on TikTok, so he must lurk and put two and two together.
Oh yeah.
That my twin brother is fucking hungry.
All right, I've got to head off. Gee, thanks for hanging out with me while I did some painting.
Oh yeah, funny. No worries. I've still got a lot to do. Like for my
hour and a half, and I've done some bases, but I suppose between chatting and stuff, you sort of stop a bit more than you normally would.
Yeah,
like just painting by yourself.
Talk to them, chat a little bit, and that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, it was good to jump on and have a chat and a bit of hobby talk. But
yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I'll speak to you soon, then, man.
Yeah, catch you next time. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to use my Gap Games affiliate link in the description, and liking, subscribing, that sort of stuff, and thumbs up. All right,
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for stopping by.
Cheers.
Cheers.